What have we here? Whoa! That thing barely fits on the screen. What is it? Is it some kind of fortress? Some kind of castle? Or some kind of sometimes vlog? It's a vlog that happens sometimes. Boy, that was difficult. I am a little horse, you guys. And a big donkey. I said donkey instead of something else. Look at this, guys. The exit, or the entrance to, depending on how you look at it, right? Oh, wow, Luke, you're going to find that many of the truths we cling to depend entirely on our own point of view. The exit, at the moment, because it's past midnight and the park here at Magic Kingdom is closed, to Liberty Square. And back there, I just came from Adventureland, where I just took the last boat out of Pirates of the Caribbean. Here in Adventureland, in the Magic Kingdom, in Walt Disney World, in Florida, in the United States of America, you know, North America, Western Hemisphere, the world, Milky Way galaxy, the universe, solar system in there somewhere too. You know how it works. Look at this. Look at this ginormous castle. I will never be able to get used to that. I will never be able to get used to that. You guys, what am I talking about? I have skipped so many things. So anyway, that's the way to Liberty Square, which is what they have instead of New Orleans Square. But it's kind of part of Frontierland. It's very hard to explain Liberty Square. It'll take a whole separate vlog. We'll do a different vlog about it. Look at this. Walking into the beautiful hub of the Magic Kingdom. Main Street sort of spills out into the hub. This is their new hub. It's nice and expanded. Look at these cool signs. Look at these cool signs. We get closer, it should adjust. Ooh, fancy. So they have those signs leading to all the different lands. So they kind of have a ring within a ring in the hub, and plenty of shrubbery. I'm such a huge fan of shrubbery. You guys don't even know how much I want to geek out on the shrubbery, but behind you is a giant thing. Watch out behind you. Oh no, that's just that fortress thing we were talking about before. Look at it. Do you know what? I wonder if it needed to be so tall, because it is ironic, but Sleeping Beauty, she just had that one mattress. Maybe Cinderella was the same as the prince. Maybe Cinderella's daughter was the Princess and the Pea Girl, and they needed to stack up a bunch of mattresses in there. Okay, joke didn't land. I'm too tired for the joke. Guys, this is my 4th Disney theme park of the day. I started at Animal Kingdom, the 4th park to open, and I worked my way backwards of the opening order. Animal Kingdom, Disney's Hollywood Studio, Epcot, and now I have landed myself at the Magic Kingdom. Walt Disney World theme parks, all 4 have been in by my feet with the touching and the walking of me in it today. Nailed it. Seriously, I quadruple Disney, guys. Oh, they just reopened this. Look, you can walk back up onto the campus. They've been doing a lot of construction work on the castle, and this has been closed the entire time I've been at Walt Disney World. And on my last trip, I could not get this close. Isn't she a beaut? I got her for a steal right when the economy tanked. I put a down payment on her and I said, honey, I know she doesn't look like much, but this is us. This is the new us. Can't you see our children growing old here with us? Because we're never going to let them leave. What? What am I even saying? Look at this, you guys. Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse, the partner statue. Very different, but very much the same. Isn't it? Look at this giant, wide open hub. Now, I'm not familiar with their old hub, so I don't know how it was, but this is pretty amazing. Do you guys hear the wind? Can you hear the wind? I apologize for the sound of the wind and the state of the weather. I can't control that with my power of the Cobra yet. But one day, look at this. Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse, the partner statue, just like at home. I am tripping out. I am so tired. Okay, so back to what I was saying. 4 Disney parks. So I did it. I quadruple Disney. I quadruple Disney. I quadruple Disney. So back behind that, of course, is Fantasyland. So Liberty Square leading into Frontierland, and then Adventureland over here. This way is another way to Fantasyland and sort of the new Fantasyland area, and then all over here, Tomorrowland, just like at Disneyland. Now, if you haven't seen my vlogs before at Disney World, and you're thinking, what the heck, you're at Disney World, you're not at Disneyland in California, you're at Disney World in Florida, and you went to the Magic Kingdom, and you're showing us all these things, then this will be news to you. Some people don't know. Is it the same? Is Tomorrowland in the same spot? Basically, yes. Basically, when Walt Disney World opened in 1971, Magic Kingdom is meant to be an East Coast copy of Disneyland. This is how it was built, what it was for, because they figured out that a huge chunk of the attendance at Disneyland, like the lion's share, was coming from west of the Mississippi, and people from east of the Mississippi really weren't coming all the way out to California to check out. Oh, here we go, look at this. Here we go, guys. Something is happening. Things are happening. People are starting to murmur. People are starting to murmur. People are starting to murmur. Shh, 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 shh. What's happening? What's happening? We gotta be quiet. The music just stopped. Now normally that means something's gonna happen with the castle. Oh, you hear that? Not that, not Walt Disney's Grumpy's Rumpy. Little magical sounds, little tinkling sounds. Anyway, I did it. I'll just keep talking until it does do something. 4 theme parks. I quadruple Disney'd. Quadruple Disney'd. I can't believe it. All 4 theme parks at Disney World. So confusing. So Walt Disney World, oh, here comes the music again. It was just a mistake. I was just wrong. Weird though that there was that gap. It totally Heimbucked the vlog and Heimbucked my brain. So if you missed the other vlogs, I did 4 vlogs today, 1 from each park. They weren't great vlogs. It's just me talking about, well, I guess they're all like that, aren't they? Thank you for watching them, you wonderful people, you. But I have basically been up on 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many hours of sleep. Not that much sleep. And I have gone to 4 Walt Disney World theme parks today. Of the 4 that there are, I've been to 4 of them. There's also 2 water parks. I'm not gonna count those. Theme parks. Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and now the Magic Kingdom. I did 1 vlog from each. Today was a mighty vlogathon. But yeah, similar layout. You have Tomorrowland and all that kind of stuff. Frontierland contains Splash Mountain because they have no Critter Country here. And Adventureland has Pirates of the Caribbean because they have no New Orleans Square here. But some of the main attractions, other than there being a notable absence of a Matterhorn here, they've got a Space Mountain, they have a Splash Mountain, they got a Big Thunder Railroad for Big Thunder Mountain, and they have, of course, the big castle. The big, giant Cinderella's castle sitting right there. Crazy, crazy. It's bigger than Disneyland in the sense of area, the sense of the land it's on. We are so much farther away. Now that castle, our castle would only come up to sort of the top of the bottom layer of that castle. When I say our castle, I mean Sleeping Beauty Castle at Disneyland in Anaheim, the original one. It would be about, and right now we would be like halfway down Main Street, so it's a little bit bigger in terms of like space and how stretched out it is. I haven't done the pacing and the precise calculations to figure out how many feet wider the street is. I don't even know that Main Street's any wider. We'll find out. I have ways of finding out. But it's definitely longer between Main Street Station and the castle. But look at this. Doesn't that look strange? Main Street Station looks huge, doesn't it? That's because it's full size. It's like a full, big, huge, massive, full-size building. There's stuff in the basement, and there's a whole first floor all crazy, and then there's a whole upstairs all crazy. And each one of these buildings, I don't know if they're actually full scale on the 2nd story, but they're certainly like full scale on the bottom story. And instead of Disneyland having like 3/4 scale or whatever it is, and then even smaller on top and even smaller than that, they just started bigger. So they go much higher and they're much deeper. So at Disneyland, a 2-window and a little door piece of a facade like this would probably be like this wide. But here it goes way wider. I realize you can't understand my gestures. I am so tired, I can't believe that I am still standing up. So I went to all these parks. I filmed a lot of Random Land today. I'm informing you things of which you already know if you've been watching the vlogs all day. So I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm completely delirious and totally just going with the flow at this point. Look at this. John Burley. That's what Adam calls him. Adam the Woo calls this guy John Burley because he knows that I have named the cigar store, the Wooden Indian in Disneyland. I have named him Jimberly, and it's caught on, and many other people are calling him Jimberly now. And now there's people who have never heard of me, and they've never heard of you, and they're out there calling Jimberly because that's Jimberly's name. And we came here and I said, what's this guy's name? And Adam the Woo, self-proclaimed Walt Disney World aficionado, that's how he would call me if I were him and he were me. Anyway, he says this guy's name is John Burley. So I'm just gonna smash it into John Burley, and his name is John Burley. Yay, that's what we call him. Because Adam wanted to call him that. He's a lot nicer than Jimberly in the sense that he doesn't razz me so hard. He's the strong, silent type. And just like his twin over there in Frontierland, he really likes his eye massaged. Just this one. He's got a little bit of a funky eye going. The face is different on this side than this side, just like Gimberly. And he just likes it when you pet his eyeball, like this. Who doesn't like that, though? Who doesn't like a good eyeball rubbing? Especially when you're tired. Just want your eyeball rubbed. Just two dudes hanging out on Main Street. One of them's just giving the other one an eyeball rub, just to make him feel better. Just to be. Shh. It's gonna be okay. We're all gonna be okay. Hashtag Q4P, Quest for Positivity, John Burley. It's gonna be okay. He's not Gimberly. He'll never be Gimberly, but he's so close. It's so strange though, because he's sitting up here instead of way down there. Our Gimberly sits way down at the foot almost of Main Street, in front of the Main Street Cinema, and their Gimberly sits way over here past the cross street over here. So I always miss him. Whenever I'm walking into Magic Kingdom, I always pass right by him because I'm expecting him way down there. I miss him, and then I pass right by old John Burley. And then by the time I remember, oh yeah, I'm over there, and then I want to turn around, and I don't know why I'm telling you the story. I'm mostly just telling them so that you can overhear it and feel better. It's not that I'm trying to ignore you. Well, I mean, no, but see, I don't answer anybody's texts or calls, man. Phones give me anxiety in that way. It's hard to get a hold of me. I know. Listen, we'll talk. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna hang out later. Don't worry about it. Anyway, it's a whole thing. I'm sorry to interrupt the vlog for John Burley. He's sensitive. He's a sensitive guy, and I think that's what I like about him. Just a nice, sensitive, empathetic character. Look at this. Why is that my catchphrase? Here is this whole side street area, totally different than Disneyland. Bigger, more elaborate, and more ornate. You know, the reason why it's more ornate is not because it's Disney World and it's bigger, and so we have to make everything ornate and crazy. At first, coming from our Main Street USA to this Main Street USA, at first you're like, why is it all gaudy and crazy looking? Why is it so much more overboard with all the little hems and haws and I don't know what I was gonna say, but all the little details and knobs and Queen Anne-ness to it. And the reason is because, just like Haunted Mansion here looks more like an East Coast mansion, our Main Street was patterned off of Walt's memories of his hometown and also off of Harper Goff, one of his Imagineers' memories of his hometown, Fort Collins, Colorado. And so our Main Street USA is more based off a Western or Midwestern and Western Main Street at the turn of the century, where this is based way more on an East Coast turn of the century Main Street USA. So it's catering to a different crowd. The East Coast of the United States was more established, you know, more settled and more densely populated. So their turn of the century architecture was a little bit crazier. And it's also a little bit based off of, influenced by Lady and the Tramp too. So it's just different influences in the design, as well as being more massive. Here's another massive difference. No pun intended, because our clock, our Main Street clock, would be down there about, well, a little past where John Burley is over there. We have our clock on that side down there. But here, it's here, and it's huge. Our clock, if I kind of hopped up, and I'm 6 feet tall, I could slap it. This one, nobody's slapping that clock. Nobody's slapping that clock. They put it way... Maybe somebody slapped the clock at Disneyland, and then Roy Disney was probably like, heck no, not slapping my clock. What's happening? Things are happening. It's the Kiss Goodnight. The Kiss Goodnight. At nighttime, this happens a couple of times. Look at that. Wait, where'd the castle go? It's gone! Someone took... Oh, it's just blue now. Oh, I thought it was gone. Oh, let's watch, shall we? Watch. Ah, purple castle. Ooh, greenish blue castle. Ooh. Fancy. I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
I'm one of those things.
On behalf of everyone here at the Magic Kingdom, we thank you for joining us today for a magical gathering of family, friends, fun, and fantasy.
I'm all
We
alone.
hope that your magical journey with us has created wonderful memories that will last a lifetime.
Some.
Walt Disney said that the Magic Kingdom is a world of imagination, hopes, and dreams. In this timeless land of enchantment, magic and make-believe are reborn, and fairy tales come true.
I like
The Magic
it.
Kingdom is a place for the young and the young at heart. A special place where when you wish upon a star, will come.
Oh, I better back up. I can't hear that guy anymore.
Until we see you again, have a safe trip home.
Oh.
Thank you and good night.
Oh, Mickey. I love this part. I think a duck spit in my eye. It was a flyby spitting. I'm definitely not crying. I'm not crying. Okay, watch for this. This is the best part. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean the magic went out of the castle? I always interpret it that way. Like, the magic's gone. Leave! But it actually does the show, that little Kiss Goodnight show, more than once. So definitely the magic isn't gone. Okay, magic's already coming. Those little sneaky guys. The magic's already coming back. The magic never leaves the Magic Kingdom. It's too magical. Anyway, here we go. Look at these friendly cast members waving goodnight. Waving goodnight to everybody. Oh, by the way, all this side of the street, almost entirely, clock included, maybe, is all the emporiums. Our emporium goes up to like here and stops. That emporium just keeps going and going. It's crazy. There's a lot of differences. I'll cover them all in random stuff. I just stepped in a puddle. I just stepped in a real puddle. They have real puddles of water here for the tourist to know what water's like. Us from California, we don't know what water's like. Anyway, I have totally hijacked my brain. A lot of differences. No cinema. Well, they have a Main Street cinema, but there's no movie in it. Lots of differences. Anyway, I'm covering that all in Random Land in a more edited, more coherent fashion. I am very, very tired, and the only reason why this vlog has happened, and had to happen, is because of vlogathon, and I wanted to share with you guys a big chunk of my day. I have been doing like quadruple duty, quadruple, sextuple, quintile duty. I've been doing a lot of things. So I've been mostly filming hours and hours and hours, terabytes of footage of all this different stuff. I filmed Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party out here. I filmed all kinds of attractions. I filmed all kinds of little details. A lot of filming at Animal Kingdom. Like, it just took a lot more filming than I was expecting. And so I've got a large, massive chunks of these videos for doing Random Land. YouTube.com/LiveFastLivePoor. You can see my edited videos where I've done Random Land stuff. If you've never seen those before, that's where I started all this stuff on YouTube. And these sometimes vlogs started to be like, hey, here's what I'm doing in between those things. And then these sort of turned and ended up being kind of this weird thing that happens sometimes. And yeah, so I've been doing all that kind of filming. So filming with all these different cameras and trying to work out this new camera and then trying to use the other second to newest camera and having all kinds of, not technical trouble, but just, you know, I'm not so smart, especially when it comes to thinking. And so I've had a tough time with the cameras for the first couple days, and I figured it out. But mostly I've been getting up really early, doing that all day long. And then on top of that, I've been doing Snapchat and Instagram and Periscopes. And I did, like, seriously hours of Periscope last night, like maybe 8 hours of Periscoping last night, or maybe 5 to 8, somewhere in there. A lot of hours of live streaming video from my hotel room and stuff. I don't leave them up for replay very often, very rarely. Tonight I did Pirates of the Caribbean, I left that up for replay. I did Haunted Mansion, I left that up for replay. You can't see anything in the Haunted Mansion, but if you're from Disneyland and you wanted to know the difference, I did a Periscope sort of talking about it, sort of narrating it. So pretend you're blind and someone's telling you what the ride looks like. It's the best I could do given the shoddy nature of iPhone plus Periscope plus darkness. It's very dark in there. Anyway, I've been doing like triple, quadruple, and mint tuple duty. I've been doing a bunch of different things. So it's not that I'm so physically exhausted because the weather has gotten so nice. This is like perfect California weather right now. It's gorgeous. I brought California weather with me. I did it. It's not the weather anymore. I'm not dehydrated. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling physically okay, other than being really sore, that is. Yeah, I'm physically a little bit worn down, tired, and sore, but it's mentally I was thinking about it on the way over here since the last vlog. It's actually just mentally straining the number of things I'm keeping track of in my mind. So tomorrow I probably will not be doing a sometimes vlog well, this is tomorrow, but do you see what I'm saying? Because I have done so many vlogs today. 4 quadruple sometimes vlog. That has never happened. We've just broken the record. 4 in a 24-hour period. 4 sometimes vlogs. Look at Main Street Station. This is a downstairs. Tunnels to get in the park, and then down to the stroller rental, blah, and then the station's up there, like ours would be up there. And then this big roof to cover it because of the rain. But you know what? That's actually accurate, because on the East Coast, all that type of architecture had roofs to protect people from snow. And so they had those like Victorian era, turn of the century sort of balconies, those cast iron balconies and stuff like that. We don't have that in California, and they didn't really have that in the old Midwest, or the old West rather. Because it doesn't snow as much. It only snows part of the year, so you have more peak stuff. Just a different style of architecture. And so, for me coming here, I used to look at Magic Kingdom and think, what? But now that I know more about the historical era and I've seen more things, I'm like, oh, I get it now that I'm older. When I was just a young, ignorant kid who's never seen anything outside of California, I was like, that doesn't look real. Our old stuff in California looks old westerny. So, to me, this looked wrong. But now I understand it. I understand Main Street USA at Walt Disney World. A lot of people don't understand that there's an intentional difference between this and Disneyland, and they go, Disneyland's so small, everything's so small. It's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be miniature, it's supposed to be cute. Walt liked it that way. He didn't want it to intimidate the children. And it's patterned on certain specific buildings, just like these are patterned on certain specific buildings. And it's done to achieve an effect there, and this is done to achieve a certain effect here, which is to hide the rest of the park from the observer and the castle, to be a much bigger weenie to draw people through the much bigger Main Street. And it has to draw people from across a whole lake, because the front of Walt Disney World, I'm going to walk you out there now because I realize I haven't put this on a vlog. You're going to walk all the way out with me tonight. The front of Walt Disney World, look at City Hall, isn't this crazy? I'm trying to give you as many views as I can. The front of Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, I should say. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop saying Walt Disney World as a blanket statement for Magic Kingdom. The front of the Magic Kingdom is out on a massive lake. Now you've been to this, or at least been through with me, the front gate many times, and the front gate leads to this plaza, and there's a main street that cuts well through many cities all the way down to the beach. And there's another theme park straight across. Like if we were walking out here, we'd see some turnstiles, and then we would see Disney California Adventure on the other side, and then the city of Anaheim is completely surrounding Disneyland. On all sides at this point, you would be seeing the city and planes flying overhead and human beings and happiness. Not quite literally, but you know, for the sake of the story. We're here at the Magic Kingdom, and ooh, look at the Main Street Station from the outside. Isn't it handsome? It's handsome because it's sort of symmetrical. Ours is asymmetrical, and I like it. It has plucky character, and I like it. I love it. It will always be hey, Disneyland will always be #1 to me, guys. I have a massive bias that will never go away for it, no matter what. But I do like Magic Kingdom, and I really like their Main Street Station. Isn't it cool? It's pleasingly symmetrical, isn't it? Pleasingly symmetrical. Now go look at a picture of Disneyland's. And you probably never noticed it wasn't so symmetrical before. It never bothered you. But now it always it'll either bother me that Disneyland's isn't symmetrical, or it bothers me that this one is. And I go back and forth on it. My mind is trying to make them the same because they are so similar in theming. The two parks, I mean. Especially because I'm so tired, but they're just different, and they're meant to be different. And you know what? They should be different. I like that Pirates is different here than in Anaheim. I like that Small World is very different. I like the differences a lot. Anyway, from here, if you were to turn around in Anaheim, you'd see the front of Disney California Adventure. And then if you didn't see that, you used to see a parking lot, and you used to see hotels in the city of Anaheim. Here, you flip around, and you see this, monorail tracks. And that right there, my friends, is a boat dock. And where at daytime, you would notice that this is all water. So let me actually walk out the exit. Where is it? Where is it? I'm not as automatically familiar with this place as I am with Disneyland. Sometimes I have to look for things like which areas do they not rope off to exit in at night. Now Disneyland, I would just walk automatically out. I don't even need to look up anymore. I just know exactly where I'm headed. No, Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. Walt couldn't buy a lot of the land around Disneyland in Anaheim. I really should save this information, and I'll probably repeat this information a dozen times in different vlogs. But I'm really talking to the people in California who don't understand Disney World. There's a lot of buildings around Disneyland, and that's because Walt couldn't buy up a lot of the land surrounding it. So all these hotels shot up, and they were kind of corny and cheesy. Walt didn't like that. He wanted a lot of space. That's what started them looking for so much space. Well, now they have so much space, you could fit to the island of Manhattan in it, and they have a ton of space in Florida, and now that really wasn't a problem. But they chose this site on the very northern tip of a massive lake. I think it's called Bay Lake, I'm pretty sure, but I'm so tired I could be getting that so wrong. They have Seven Seas Lagoon over there, they have Bay Lake, and they have the World Showcase Lagoon. They have a lot of bodies of water, Disney over here, I'm pretty sure. But they put it on the northern end of this massive lake. They're gonna tell us we can't take a ferry boat, which is fine. And you have to take a ferry boat or a monorail. Now they have a bus ramp, but please, for the sake of the story, to get over here. So way over there where those lights are across the water, you'll have a better shot of them over here. Way over there is a thing called the Transportation Ticket Center. We'll do a whole separate vlog there someday, and we'll come over on the monorail or the ferry boat and vlog that. But way over there, those lights, way across this huge lake, that is where the parking lot for the Magic Kingdom is. Hello. And that is where you take a monorail up into the Magic Kingdom, or drops you off in front of the Magic Kingdom. Then the monorail continues, one of them does, all the way around this lake to all these different resorts. So way over there you have the Grand Floridian, and over there you have the Contemporary Resort, and across the water, sort of next to the Transportation Ticket Center, you have the Polynesian Resort. And then this lake connects to another lake, sorta, which is this giant Disney created Seven Seas Lagoon, as they tell you on the monorail. And that huge lagoon has more Disney resorts and things around it. It used to have a water park in it, all kinds of crazy stuff. So here you see these little boats, and these sort of Jungle Cruise looking boats take people, they're launches. What's the difference between a launch and a dinghy and a row boat and a canoe and a shuttle and a ferry and a water taxi? Well, I don't know all my nautical terms, so I'm nautical up to speed on those. Anyway, way over there you can see one of the ferry boats, giant ferry boats, taking people across the Transportation Ticket Center. So you have to park over there and then take a different form of transportation over here. So the effect is almost like you're leaving the real world. Well, because the rest of the Disney World property has to have highways and byways and signs and infrastructure and hotels, and there's even a few gas stations and a pet hotel and all kinds of crazy stuff on property. A lot of crazy stuff. Whole different conversation about that. But basically, you are entering a whole different world. Now they have this huge bus area, but I'm told they never used to have that before. It's a relatively recent thing to add the buses in because they're getting more and more visitors, and the buses will generally take you to each resort. So each resort will have a different bus. So if you're staying, Disney has a ton of hotels on their property. Let's look at the bus directory actually, shall we? I'm sorry if this is boring, but I'm actually still really fascinated by all these topics, and I'm really tired, and this is keeping me awake. I thought I would be way more manic and like falling asleep, but I'm actually feeling. Look at the bus directory.
Where are you headed, folks?
Oh, cool. Oh, I'm headed over the ferry boat, so I'm just waiting slowly for it. But look at this. Look at all these different buses. Hollywood Studios, Old Key West Resort, Pop Century Resort, Port Orleans French Quarter, Port Orleans Riverside, that's where I stayed at the beginning of my trip, Saratoga Springs Resort, Swan and Dolphin Hotels, Yacht Beach Club, Wilderness Lodge, All-Star Movies, All-Star Sports, All-Star Music, those are all hotels. Animal Kingdom Lodge, Argonaut Nation Resort, Boardwalk Resort, Caribbean Beach Resort, Coronado Springs Resort. Those are a lot of different buses to a lot of different resorts. And if you're staying at one of those resorts on property, you're probably pretty glad that a bus comes and drops you straight off or picks you up. But otherwise, the old school way was to take a monorail. There's two, an express one to TTC, Transportation Ticket Center, or one that goes all the way around to all those different resorts and stops in them. Or you can take this huge ferry boat all the way across, which is what I'm about to do, because I rode in on the monorail. My little rental car is over at the TTC, and I now have done 4 Disney parks in one day. I quadruple Disney. I double Disneyed, where I did 1 park here and 1 park in California in a day, Disney World and Disneyland, but I've never quadruple Disneyed in one day. Someday I'd like to 6 Disney day. I'd like to do 4 here, bam, 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 and then fly home and go bam, bam, and do all 6 North American parks in one day. That would be intense. That would be insane. That would be omega. That would be the, I don't know, what is that? Sextuple is 5. What's 6? Octuple Disney would be 8. I don't know my tuples as well as I should. I need to go back to tuple college. I dropped out. It was complicated. It was the 70s. I wasn't alive then, but I dropped out of tuple school. I'm really falling apart here. I am going to use all my strength and concentration to concentrate on getting on that ferry boat. You see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? That ferry boat's coming for me, and it's coming for you, sorta. We're gonna ride that ferry boat across the water, get into my car, go to the hotel, and sleep well. Unless I periscope this, and you might actually see this ferry boat before you see this vlog. Weird. Anyways, I'm working on a lot of videos, I'm working on a lot of stuff. If I don't do a vlog tomorrow and you don't see me tomorrow, fear not, I shall be back. It's just because I want to take one day where I have less to concentrate on. So that's either less camera filming, which I still need to do a lot of, so I'd rather do that. I think it's a higher priority at this juncture, and less vlogging. So I think the vlogs will get a little heavier and more detailed and interesting towards the end of the trip, because by then I'll have known my stuff a little better, and also by then more of the filming's out of the way. So once more of the Random Lands filming out of the way, I have more time to do crazy sometimes vlogs and periscope rides instead of being up with 2 cameras in my hands trying to Snapchat and do stuff at the same time. I am overstimulating myself. It's not even this place. I'm doing this to myself, but I'm having a lot of fun. I'm meeting a lot of really cool people, really nice people. I'm having a lot of fun with you guys on Periscope, a lot of fun with you guys, all the comments on the social media, and people are being really cool. People are really starting to understand. A lot of really cool supporters on patreon.com/JustinScar that keeps the Sometimes vlog going and all that stuff, because it keeps me going, which is really cool and nice of all of you guys. And then, of course, livefastiport.spreadshirt.com and all that stuff. But it's been really cool interacting with everybody and having everybody say, take a day off. I know, I hear you, I see your comments, and I see all your nice things. Take a day off, rest, relax. I can't. I got a lot of stuff to accomplish, and I would rather... Ooh, we're going to proceed. We're going to proceed. I'm so excited. They're going to open the gate. I have a lot of stuff to work on, and if I went home without finishing it, I would be a lot more bummed than I am tired now. But I am going to try and take tomorrow a little easier, so that my brain is functioning better, so that I can film more better, more good, more greatish, more grapes. So here we go. So out of this little ferry waiting station and on to the Admiral Joe Fowler ferry boat. And this, I leave you here at the Magic Kingdom, and I'll be back to get you sometime on the vlog. Bye-bye.